Good evening, folks. Hello, Microman. I love you, man. You're always on time, waiting. Perfect timing. Hello, Geo. Yeah, well, but was your mum right? Or maybe you are a race car driver now. I hope you are. Just not on Spikie's street because he wants to go skiing. I actually released this game onto ZX, just Spectrum Computing, into their archive. It's been accepted. There is a bug that's been found. No, I did know about it, and then I just conveniently forgot. So that's the first thing we're going to fix. And funnily enough, there was something else I remembered when I was at work, but I've forgotten that again already. So there's two bugs, but I can only remember one of them. Kill that music. Very good soundtrack I found there. Turrican 2. Commodore Amiga. I love that one. Definitely using that one again. Get rid of it though. Rightio. So yeah. I made some changes. I'm now working in the one called Release. So I've moved away from the nightly. I'm going to delete nightly soon. And I've now called the tape file the full name of the game. Other than that, the only changes I made were the colours in the game. I also read Moz's link for the loading screen. Didn't read the whole article, but I found that even though I've run out of memory here, there's very little space left on this program. I think the loading screen might be able to be treated separate, because obviously it gets dumped. Not sure, but I guess you can just write it into the screen memory and then forget it. So I think we can squeeze a loading screen in there. But most importantly, I had a bug reported to me. Some people have been playing the game and enjoying it. People are hating the WASD keys, which I knew would happen. Chain a couple of programs. Yeah, that's basically what I was reading about. I only partly read it. But then when it makes sense, doesn't it? Because it puts it in front of it in the tape file, loads it into screen memory, and then it can just load the rest of the game as normal. But this code takes up almost every byte available in the Spectrum. I went over and I had to delete like some instructions just to get it down by a couple of bytes, and I kept doing that until I got it to boot. So it's very, very much full. Here it is. Let me sort out my Streamlabs so I can see what's going on. Yeah, I added an instructions screen. Press I to go to that. Yeah, it looks a little bit better with the different colours, doesn't it? The pink is not that great, but I just wanted something different. And yes, I know it's magenta. And also I know that WASD is really hated. But yeah, I had some mixed responses to that. Most people were just joking, of course. It's no big deal. And some were saying they actually prefer it for this type of game. I think they're just being kind. I did want to have more than one control profile, and then I just have a bool or a state that you set at the start here, and then I could just check that when I do the key commands. But like I say, I ran out of room, so I'd have to delete the like a car sprite here or something to fit it in. So I'm going to live and learn and just make do with that. When we port this to the next, obviously we'll have more memory, I take it. So And even the 128K, I could make a version. Yeah, I thought you would have done micro. Thing is, I'm an oddball because I had a Spectrum in the 80s, my only computer. But whenever there were redefinable keys, I actually used to set it to WASD. I don't know why. Sometimes I used to use N and M, and then like Q and A or W and S. UHKN. Fair enough. I don't know the layout of the C64 that well. I look at my keyboard here, and that doesn't look that intuitive, but it's whatever you're used to, innit, I guess. But I absolutely knew WASD was going to be hated. Oops, just click something. I've made the walk on the. I've called that the ring walk. So there's a subroutine called ring walk. Do ring walk. I had to delete a load of the sounds to fill in the space. To save some space. So we can only do like 3 different sounds now. And I actually added. I'll show you in the code in a minute. The difficulty of the road scene increases 10 different times. So every time you complete this skiing level, it gets a little bit harder, the road, actually 10 times. So it's quite hard to get to the final. You won't even notice it now hardly, but if I can get through a few levels without completely dying. Quite a high score here. Ah. Yeah, the skiing is so hard. I'm guessing it like misses a frame sometimes. You think you've turned. It should be getting a little bit harder now, and it is. It's noticeably, although it's not. I'll show you the code. Where did I put it? Level 1. Yeah, so spawn chance 1 is the first gate you get to, for want of a better word, where it does a random number and checks that it's less than 150. That's the first bit, but then it gets to another bit where we actually use this now. Current spawn chance. Started it at 100, and it raises by 20 every time you go through that finish gate. That's a point. I have to reset this when we start a new game. Where did I put that? So here's where I've done the ring walk. There's another state, another player state. My memory is absolutely terrible because I just forgot what the problem was. Oh yeah, I've got to reset this to 100. So really, to be complete, let's have a constant. I shouldn't have called it spawn chance really. I've got two called spawn chance. That actually makes sense to me. Basically, this one's the first time it checks, and then if it gets past that, it later checks this and does the set. It does another random number, and if it's over that, it just doesn't let it spawn a car. This is the one where you actually start the game for the first time. So that's that. I also need to fix that bug where you die. If you die on the ski and then you restart, it will actually put you back on the ski. The reason for that is I've got that stupid game state which I like gave up using, but I use it for the level 1 and level 2. I'm going to set it back to level 1. It's a bit of a mess, and again I'll be glad to see the back of this project so we can hopefully take what we've learned and make a more simple game with much more simple code structure. That should actually fix both them bugs though. There was one more bug I forgot about. Just to make sure, I'm going to set the has skis to false. Make sure. You turned out not to drive at all. That's quite funny. That's funny that. No probs. Hey Gio. Better off doing some coding instead of driving in it. Driving's just a needless hassle. Do I want a little tiny jingle when we start a game? It's annoying really, isn't it? Just do one little sound. Alright. I suppose I'll just die on the ski level a load of times. If I don't die on the road first. Oh yeah, of course it takes you back here now. I've got to get over to there. Stupid me. Oh well, I'll test it from there instead then. That seems to work very well. Let's just die on the skiing. So I'll die a bunch of times here. One more. Alright, now I've got to do it with no death. Oh, that green bike really wanted me. Perfect. The skills exist. Spikie's a road pizza. I purposely made it so the cars get drawn over the top of the player, but it appears that the player gets still drawn over the top of the car. Try and fix that bug. Just double check that. It looks to me like, seems to me that the player is drawn on top. Only when he's dead. I did at one point put a call to draw the player whilst he died. I thought I'd remove that. I'll double check two things. Without ski. There's no drawing done in there. Oh look, player draw is after the vehicle. Already that sound's grinding on me, but better than no sound, I guess. Oh, I think that looks a bit better. Oops. Go on, give me a car. Perhaps I should start the spawn the cars a bit harder. Nah, it's nice being easy to start with, I think. I'm going to give up waiting for a car because he's taking too long. Teasing. Yeah, that's much better. Working well. Hello, Fractal. Hello, Micro. Looking good. As far as I know now, there is no bugs. Like, there's lots of compromises and corners cut, but they're intentional. If you know, what I mean. Like they were conscious. It was a conscious decision. But the points go up. The cars run you over. They spawn pretty randomly. Money goes up and down, or down correctly, I should say. It doesn't go up. That was one of the corners. Just trying to see how close I could get to the tree. I mean, it's obvious how it's going to work. It's an exact rectangle, the same as the sprite. Oof. It's almost time to say goodbye to Spikie for a while. Because the next game I want to make will feature spaceships. Oh, I'd love to loop through because, like I say, there's actually it starts from 100. There's level 1, yeah. Spawn chance starts from 100 and it can go all the way up to 230. It goes up 20 per time. So it's 5, 6, 7 levels of difficulty on the road. Spikie in space. Shall I draw it with Spikie's head sticking out of a flying saucer and have him flying around do a side view? Because I was thinking like Space Invaders, but maybe if I did it R-type view, but still single screen, and then had his head sticking out of his flying saucer. That's doable, isn't it? Spikie in space. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. I love it. Gonna turn him into an actual mascot for the Spectrum. I want to add him to the next as well. Like, if there are any graphic, like awesome pixel artists amongst us, feel free to send a next, a coloured version if you want, if you ever want to. I mean, I'm gonna have a crack at it myself, but I'm definitely not an artist. Fair play, Micro. It's like me. I'm okay with stuff that's like 16 by 24 pixels because you can't really go wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? Especially when there's only two colours. Very limited. So that's easy for me. But once you get, I don't even know the next, but I think it's like 4 colours per cell or something, or the cells are smaller or something. I'll have to find that out. But yeah, like I say, 7 levels of difficulty on the road, but there's only 3 levels of difficulty on the skiing. But I kind of thought that was alright. But maybe I could start this at like 140. So it's a little bit harder right from the start. Should be anyway. Also, the amount of time you sit in the menu affects the random thing. They seem to spawn at the bottom maybe more, or it might be my imagination. Maybe the bike's collision is a little bit buggy. I'm trying to hit a bike. No. It'll do. Good enough. I'd much rather like survive a collision rather than have a false collision. So I'm happy with it. That's a shame that I had to make do with that, but literally we can't even fit many more letters in there. That, you know, a couple more characters in that text would take us over the edge. I'd have to delete something else. I'll put one sound in these. And then same for level 2, but a slightly different sound. Alright. One more little play test, and then I think it is time to I was thinking I could either start immediately on another game, or maybe I could try and do like a serious attempt at sub-pixel movement or something, and not worry about making a game, but make a sort of gravity simulation. I'm in two minds there. I think the spaceship game wouldn't be that hard to make. I'm only talking about a really simple one. Oh, so hard to steer on that. It's a lot harder than it looks. Hey, I'm happy with this. I don't need to play it again until someone posts a high score on highscore.com, and then I've got to try and beat it. Another big thanks to Moz. He actually drew that Spikie sprite. I mended the hair, but ruined it basically. But that's being added to the archive of Spectrum Computing. I got a message from R Tape. That's really good news. I didn't see it appear on there yet, but when it does, I'm sure it'll generate some interest for my channel. The game is 26,736 bytes, and the buffer itself that I've allowed for the video buffer is 5,376 bytes. So the grand total 32,112 bytes. I really think I'm about 5 bytes off the top. And the license plates, that would be great. I mean, it's the exact same sprite, so I can only use one. It's the same sprite, do you know what I mean? But I should have done that. Oh, you can't even see that, can you? What am I doing? Could do that. But yeah, like I say, they'll both have the same one. Could put it on the roof. I just drew that because at the time I thought, oh, I've got some space here just to use up. And I just drew a big old car sprite. But I regretted that instantly afterwards because then I noticed it filled up the remainder of the memory. I should have probably done like the corner of a frame and then the vertical and horizontal bits of a frame, and then I could have made an actual frame around the screen, put text inside it. I'd already drawn the car when I realised it was full, so I went with it. It's a shame to see the back of it, really, but I don't think I can add anything more. Oh, okay. C64 sprites have an expand X. Oh, and you can scale them all the way up, but between that, or does it just grow instantly to double size? 200% only. I was going to say that would be epic otherwise. Still pretty epic. Well, I think it's complete. It got very messy. I had to highlight a lot of that out, comment a lot of that out because just for space reasons. There's probably some more. I deleted the vsync.asm. We weren't using that. I've completely deleted it. This can be deleted. I'll file. Actually, before I do that, oh, I've already done it now. Whoops. Yeah, that's all good. Just checking. Almost all of it now is essential stuff. Yeah, ready to tie a bow around. Quite scared to start a fresh project. It feels like a bit scary for some reason. Spikie in space is going to be the next one. Even more simple than this. I want it to be the most simple project of all so far. Oh, thanks, Michael, man. Definitely. Crazy debugging. That's what we do here, isn't it, at the moment? And that's what I did promise, that I was going to get DZOG hooked in for my next project. So I won't start anything too seriously just yet. But we can obviously put some code down without it. But I don't want to get too heavily into like spider web of code that I've got here. Spiky t-shirt. That's a bloody good idea. I was thinking about doing some merch, you know. I was thinking about it. When you unlock the Twitch affiliate, it offers you like a merch company, but it seemed really expensive, and I didn't get a very big cut out of it. And I thought I could probably use someone on eBay and sell the stuff for like less than half the price. That's a clever T-shirt. I'll get all of them. I'm gonna keep these ideas because I wanted to do that. I was thinking about it the other day. Spiky hair gel, you're right, Moz. No, I don't want a big cut, but I mean, I got a tiny cut and they were charging like really stupid money for it. It was like 30 quid for something that I could buy on eBay for a fiver or less, you know. No, I definitely don't expect a cut. I'd be happy to sell stuff at cost price, to be honest. But the what's it called? The merch company that Twitch recommended to me somehow didn't quite float my boat. It was too expensive. Like the t-shirts were 25 quid. I could get a pack of 100 t-shirts for that nearly. You know, check Redbubble. Yeah, I will do actually. Like I say, I'm not expecting to make any money really out of it. It's just good to be able to offer it, isn't it? Like a fun thing to grow awareness really. And the good thing about using someone like Redbubble is obviously it doesn't cost me anything. I've just written that into the Google. The spiky tickler. Back scratcher in the bar. I love it. One day I'm definitely going to finish that original Spiky game. I really am. Because I was sad that I went over the top on that. And I think if I cut down the size of the levels, Z80 coasters, these are all brilliant ideas. I definitely like the idea of t-shirts though. Get good quality t-shirts. Yeah, you should, Fractal. That other one with the t-shirt with the assembly, that'd be good. Right, I'll put this to bed then. This particular project. There's no way of closing the folder. It's strange. Let's create a new file. No. New folder. No. New window. Thanks, Fractal. What do you mean by achievement unlocked? Just for finishing the game, or was it a real thing? Oh, dude, thank you very much for the bits. That's really nice of you. Yeah, like I say, the biggest hype thing for me today was I got a message from ZX Spectrum Computing when I sent a message about the game, and they're going to add it to the database of proper games. Thank you, Fractal. Yeah, yeah. It's easily to give up on a game when it starts getting messy like that, but I just scraped through on the skin of my teeth with that one, to be honest. Spiky in space is going to be much easier. Let's start it right now. Can't remember. It seems like ages since I started a new project. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Micro. I've noticed save workspace in there and add folder to workspace, but I've completely ignored it so far. But this will do. Right, what do we need here? Well, we always need entry point, don't we? Am I going to use the exact same video buffer? It uses almost 6 kilobytes straight away. Out of sheer laziness, I am going to reuse the same one. The exact same. And in fact, I'm going to import the entire contents of Retro Helpers. But what I might do is actually change stuff in there a bit before I start. God, I'm trying to find folders. Here we go. Okay. That sounds pretty clever, Micro. That one thing I do like about this app is they're always adding new features to it as well. It's catching up with the proper Visual Studio all the time, isn't it? Alright, so we've got Spikie and Space.asm. We'll use Bazinga. The thing is, I'm going to continue not using these because our buffer code makes it pretty redundant, getting screen address and that. We don't need it. It could probably be used in the buffering code to make it smoother. And by the way, if someone is watching this, I can't remember his name, but he's forked the project on GitHub and he's made some hefty improvements to this double buffering routine. When I say improvements, what he's done is he's made it a lot shorter lines in code, but it's like a loop. I'm going to stick with the one I know. Spiky in the Temple of Doom. Spiky goes bananas. It's got to be done, hasn't it, mods? I was definitely thinking of Spiky and the Spiders, just to completely do the Horace people's head in. And that game looks quite easy to make. Spiky's baby. Saving Private Spiky. Commando clone. So we're just using this for strings. I'll keep them here because that's probably going to come in well handy, to be honest. Although I think I've got a routine in colours.asm that does the same thing, to be honest. Paints a cell. Let's stick with the one I know, innit? Might not be as elegant. Spiky Man into the Spiky Verse. Okay. Bazinga. The directives. You're talking about that Reptor and all that. This crud. Take it. There must be an SJSM equivalent. Yeah. I'll figure that out when I do DZOG tomorrow. Because I'm going to do DZOG in my own time. Just because otherwise I'm going to sit here for hours with you guys and I'll probably completely fail it. So I'll do it. That's going to be one that I'm going to do privately and just say, well, hey, here it is. And then I'll try and show how I figured it out, you know. Okay, thanks, Micro. I was actually reading about them Pasmo directives because I didn't know about them until recently. Can't remember what it does though. There's quite a long list of them, isn't there? Anyway, Bazinga's pretty straightforward. We're just using it for strings. Definitely don't want this. Just delete that. Yeah, leave it. I don't know why I'm deleting things. This is Specchum's rand routine that I nicked from Bazinga and moved it into here. Guess I may as well just move it back and delete this file. This one, I take it this is like a seed or something, I don't know, but I must admit I don't understand how that works. Just been using it. For now I'm going to continue just using it. What? Yeah. That's brilliant. Can't remember the guy's name either. Got away with it. You've been making some random number generators, yeah? Muggeran also fucked Spikie. Yeah, Spikie gets around, man. Why he's stealing everyone's heart. Key cacher. Let's make use of it for now. I want to do redefinable keys somehow. Maybe I should have put these. I wonder if it would save a lot of space by just having one that you feed in the numbers to and loop. Oh well, let's get going. Oh, hang on. I want to look at constants. They're okay. I think it's 9800 that I needed to do. I'm gonna check it. Yeah. So I guess I want to try and keep it tidy this time. Yeah, I will try that micro. Because at first I used to do that. I probably still got the code somewhere. But I used to get like flickery sprites and all that, and I just thought my code for drawing was too slow. So I went to the specific, like rather than looped. Let's do that this time. I normally start off with the sprite. um, I'll quickly draw some sort of sprite to start us off. Try 24 by 24. Similarly to what I was going on about before, I hate drawing on stream because unless I show it to you guys, it just seems annoying, seems boring, it's like a stupid idea. Unfortunately, I'm not finding it easy to import. I know what I do. I'll get Spikie. Alright, this is definitely just the first draft.
A few moments later.
I'm trying. Okay, I've drawn it. It's like Spiky basically flying some sort of Dr. Robotnik style craft. Export that. Done. Right. Finally. I ended up, just to speed things through, I've gone for 16 by 40, by 24. It's a first draft only. Oh. The fanfare, why not? It's got to be done. Right, we have Spikie in space. Get drawing him. I'm taking it a little slow because I'm trying to figure out in my head like the best way of laying it all out now so it doesn't get so messy. Thing is, this game's going to be super duper easier to make because there's no level 2. It's just all one level. Maybe I could make more than one level, but he's always going to need. Let's change his name to player. That should be called Spikie. They always need that Y first, innit? He's going to want an array of bullets. But do I want to put that in here or do I want to make another file? I think it can probably go in here for now. So a bullet will have a. Its first bite will be 0 if it's dead, and not 0 if it's alive. But I could also have that do something else. No, we'll just keep it at that. Then it's X and Y position. Speed. I was just pausing then to think about the speed. Like a speed of 1 is still fairly quick on the X. Am I going to come up with some better way? What else does it need? So we know if it's alive or dead. We know its position, speed. Only going to be able to shoot one direction. I think maybe we could have like types of bullets. Like stages. Do you know what I mean? When you get powered up, they go bigger or stronger. So let's have one for power. And then by knowing its power, we can choose a different sprite for it or whatever. Somewhere else in the code. I haven't got a size variable there, but they're just going to be 1 by 1, or 8 by 8. I just bloody said it and I've forgotten again. My brain is shot at the moment. Oh, strength, wasn't it? Power. So I'll just put 3 for now. Or 4. And I'm going to do that for the end of the array. I'm still debating that, but I kind of like it. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that message. You can't see the window. What window are you looking for, sorry? The text? That's why it wasn't working then, Micro. Oh, the sprite editor, right, I see, yeah, sorry, I hid that. I just didn't bother switching. I'm way behind on the chat there, sorry about that. So that's some bullets. I'm gonna try and keep this tidier this time. I'm gonna have player init. That means when the game begins. Good, Mike, good. Yeah, I try and keep my eye on the chat, and then when it's like when you get involved with something, too many screens. So, like I say, this is going to be game begin. Let's just be a bit more explicit. Because then we can have like player level 1 start, player level 2 start, or whatever. So we're going back into the level. Listen. I added that as a sound effect, did I? Have you ever played that game? Listen. Zelda. Might be Final Fantasy. So last time, if you remember, I was jumping all the time rather than calling things. That's what I thought you were trying to do. I thought maybe the explanation might listen would do it. It's always going to be in this main from now on, especially for this game, which only has 1 level. I'd probably need to set something up for that to work. Probably my fault. I thought I had allowed all that stuff, but my mind's going completely a blank. Oh, let's go back into player. We know how to draw. We can just call draw sprite 1624. What does that need? It needs a sprite pointer and a position. It's weird how it loads backwards, but I'm starting to learn how that works now. It gets like the lower bit first into E, I think. I don't really know, but that'll work anyway. D will be the player X because I laid it out back to front. And that's it, isn't it? We need to call in here, need to include double buffering. Need to include player. What? Okay. Yeah, it is odd micro, isn't it? The other day I kind of understood it. You know when we were doing that ink HL, and I knew it made sense to me that, but now I've forgotten it again. But it's nearly staying. The information's almost locking into my brain. There's a couple of little gotchas with the double buffering. What do we need to do? I know we need to call draw play window. Draw game window, sorry. Clear window. Clear game window. That's pretty straightforward actually. Call player. Cool. Alright. Let's just try it. I mean, to be honest, it'll have to be 2 on X, or you won't see it. Oh. Oh, of course, it's retro helpers. Rename that to Spikie, that folder. Player. Oh, God, I'm slow, and I right drawing. I mean, really, I should just add them all. Oops, what have I just pressed there? See, I suppose something similar to C++, I could probably have a header file, and I just include one file here that then just has a bunch of includes. Probably do that. Gotta be colour. The correct spelling of colour. How do you spell it in Australia? Does that have interest? End pole. Oh. No. Oh. Don't think we'll really need that, but keep it there for now. I don't anticipate that we're going to run out of space on this particular game. Let's try and get the player drawn at the start, innit? Nope. Interesting. What have I forgotten with this buffer? It was almost like it was just drawing directly to the screen. Background radiation. Try that. No difference whatsoever, is it? Nah, nothing to do with it. That's interesting. Because I do all these push pops, I thought we eliminated the chance of the pointer being changed. Shouldn't need to do anything else, should we? Just to draw it. I used to write the word colour with like the American spelling sometimes, but no need in this particular scenario. The heck have I forgotten here then? Canadian. 50-50. Favourite looks crazy without a U. The U is pointless though when you think about it. Collauer. Favorite. Favorite. Yeah. Route sounds bloody weird, yeah. Route 66. Stumped right from the word go here, innit? I'm just going to quickly study my file on my other one to see if I've missed something stupid. To be honest, it looks about the same, the main file. Trixie Dixie. Fair draw. I mean, I'm sure this doesn't have anything to do with it. But it's all over the screen, isn't it? It's almost like the position is all wrong. Push DE. Push H. I do a bit of both, Moz. I've lived all over the country. Sometimes I say Bath, sometimes Bath. At least agree on spelling. That's funny. Hmm. That's right. What happens if I just put just want to see if what it looks like now. Should be all black squares. Makes no difference. Must be the sprite pointer getting affected. Oops. Not meant to be. Not meant to be like that, is it? Surely not. Still makes no difference. How odd. Am I running the right file? I think so. Yeah. He was stood. Oh, like he was stood over in the corner or whatever. Melbourne accent. It's funny actually. I had someone on Twitch comment me for my supremely British accent, and I'd never thought about it until then. Yes, Micro. I'm looking forward for the jokes. Gotta be BC getting destroyed here. They enjoy them no matter what the grass. You from New Zealand? Do you know anyone from New Zealand, Mike? I've got a friend called Nick who's from New Zealand. He lives in Torquay in the United Kingdom now, though. Oh, I really thought I was going to fix it. Yeah, the two Kiwis I know are funny as, to be honest. They're proper funny. Crazy alcoholics, though. It's rare to see them not with a beer. Yeah, they love it. Can't imagine what's wrong here because no matter what I do to the sprite, it makes no effect. PC sprite boiler. Hmm. Fair enough, Mike. Tower of Babel. I must admit, it's something I've never bothered with, foreign languages. I kind of regret that now, but I just force others to speak English to me. Oh, okay, yeah. Like Latin in it and all that. English, I think. Something like that. This is a mind boggler, isn't it? I just wonder if I draw a different size sprite. Try 16 by 16. Exact same thing. What the hell's going on? Okay, let's try not drawing the sprite. And let's change the border color. What's going on? Yeah, yeah, I'm just like, if they look at me, look, and I can tell they don't understand, I just talk louder. It's the cliche Englishman. I just slowly talk louder and slower till they just nod and pretend to understand. Something's got to be playing up here, hasn't it? Your dad. He's like, leave it to me. Listen, where is the shop? I have no clue what's happening here. Oh, I didn't do org. That'll be why. God, classic example again of messing around with the wrong things in the wrong order. But hey, he looks like he's going on a ride on the teacups. I need a better sprite artist. Moz, we need you again. Going to the pint. Yeah, not much else to do, is there? Smash some pints when you go on holiday. That just looks exactly like. So he's like in space in a teacup. Funny though. It looks funny. It's a start. Right, let's make him shoot. A dome, yeah, he's like in a breakfast bowl. Oh, dome around the outside. Could I fit that? Yeah, I can do that. I've still got the sprite on screen. It's crushing his hair, but I suppose the dome would do that, wouldn't it? Looks like a capsule now. Check out that. Look at them graphics. Superb. Can't mess with the hair now. He's managed to keep his spiky look. Just. Right. See if that works quickly. And yeah, it does. Guess I should probably make him move before I make him shoot. Thumbs up. God knows who his enemy is going to be this time. Maybe just legitimate spaceships. Just any old thing we want it to be. We can just chuck any old enemies at him. What I'm trying to do here is keep it very simple. That's what my key to this project is. Like my sort of my biggest hope about this project is that it's very nice, like a template for the start of every game. I mean, the nature of game coding, you repeat yourself a lot. I mean, really, I need a move function. It's just the same as before, really. Flying Ant Day, yeah. Oh god, I get daddy long legs all the time where I live. Stupid things. They fly into you in the most awkward way and just sort of keep flying into you. I fix everything with player in this class. I'm not sure if it's better or worse what I'm doing here, but what I'm doing is trying to make everything a call rather than a jump, so that we can get a specific flow that flows through here and always ends there, every single frame. Last time I jumped from here into a level main, which stayed independent, and maybe that was better, but I'll try it like this time. Hug. Ugh. Yeah, we just have minor annoyances here. Nothing too dodgy. Big moths is the worst one I hate. I get home late at night, open my window, turn my light on, and get bombarded by moths the size of my head. Oh, they sound similar then. So once again, I'm using this min Y thing, min X. Probably just leave it as it is for now. So it's just straightforward stuff, isn't it, really? Right now, it should be a lot more straightforward than the last game. With the added difference of this array of bullets. A is already containing the player X here. And it should be Y, not X. If I want to move it up, I want to decrease it. Do I want a speed variable? I guess I'm going to probably want that. Or at least constant. Spikie versus the moths. Moths are ridiculous, man. I hate the thing so much. Because quite often, many a night, I've sat there with the window shut just because I don't want to get bombarded by moths. Let's start in from somewhere else. Oh yeah. I forget what I'm doing. Oh yeah. So yeah, A contains that. Oh, it was speed, wasn't it? I'm going to use a constant speed again just for now. But once I finish this, which shouldn't take that long, I don't reckon. But then I'm going to try and do that sub-pixel movement stuff, and we'll have to have like a variable, variable speed. We probably still need a constant for max speed. Let's just stick it like that for now. To be honest, at the moment this project's not about the movement. It's just going to be basic as hell. I want to get this array of bullets working and the array of enemies. That's the key here. So we need a call to check keys. Just once every frame. I'm doing WASD again. Should I make it not WASD? Go on, shout out your suggestions. I actually need to go need to go to the toilet real quick. I'm just reading your message. I've been thinking about doing that, Moz, but I'm so lazy I never get around to it. QA up. Okay, I'll be right back in 2 minutes, and I'll do that instead of WASD this time. Okay, sorry about the wait there. Oh, that was another thing that I said and instantly forgot, but I did want to add a loading screen to Spikie goes skiing as well. I'll do that probably tomorrow then. Right, so QA. We already have Q. I already did Q. That's easy. I love this simple stage where it's all just nice and easy, you know. Because we're not jumping here. If you held Q and A, you'd stay still, which is pretty cool. I like that actually. If we'd done the jump method, it would only go up, and it would ignore whatever came after it, of course. Let's copy this. I believe it's that simple. Doesn't seem to work though. No, it's definitely not working. Oh, of course. I don't call player update. See, it's probably worth splitting here actually. Interesting, as this is a slight different approach actually. I'll be interested to see how this works. I think it'll work fine. But hey, and it doesn't crash the game. Excellent. We could at the very least add velocity to the Y because it's per pixel anyway. So at the moment I'm only doing 8 daddy long legs all around me now. 2 of them. Alright, let's finish it off just by adding the left and right move. And then I'll do the firing. Quickly check that. Oh, what am I doing? Jumping well ahead of myself. Of course, I've made the function for it. Got to call it, and we want to do it on O and P, which I don't think we even have yet. No, add them. O and P. Oh, they happen to be the first ones from there, which is convenient. Forgot the number already. Oh, I've already done it. I've just ignored it. Yeah, push AF. Oh, I muted that. Yeah, these daddy long legs. Luckily they're staying away from me, otherwise I'd probably kill them. So these aren't in any particular order, which isn't ideal, but so just make the two setters. Up here we'll set them all to 0, just like we do with the others. And finally we'll create them. Done everything backwards again as usual. Right, I believe that's going to be fixed there. This is the only one we have held functionality on, but it's really easy to make for all of them. Right, I mean I'm sure this will work, but let's make sure it does. Yeah. Whee! Oh, that's interesting. You can move left and yeah, you can't do more than one. You can't move diagonal. Yes, you can. Actually, yeah, it does. It works exactly as I was expecting. I don't know what I was doing wrong there. Right, fire then. Shoot. Because game start we don't need yet. That'll be where you like set his position, his initial position and all that kind of crap, his colour or whatever else you want him to start with at the beginning of the game. You'll set his money back to 0. The draw is never going to be animated, so do I want to do bullets inside this player class or do I just want to make another class? I think I should make another class because in theory you might want to have 2 players or you might want an enemy to use the same bullet class as you. A bullet isn't really anything to do with the player even though the player does fire the bullets. Maybe it'd be easier and tidier just having it in here. Let's have it in the player class for a while. I put fire bullets because I will have like bombs and lasers later. Just fire one bullet with this function. In C# or any other like object orientated coding, you could create a bullet class and you'd have its own update method, and you could just have it move, every frame by a set amount. I'm just trying to think how relevant that is in assembly language. Do I want to create a bullet class, give it its own update loop, tell it to move, or do I just straight up tell it to move from here? I think it's easy. Yeah, I'll just try and do it the most simple way for now. So basically, fire bullet just looks through that array and wants to find a dead bullet and makes it alive again. Do I want to use IX? Yes, I do. Do I want to use the +1 and all that rubbish? So that's the same old rubbish. I mean, A's already loaded there, isn't it? I need to load it again. Go 0. If it's not 0, go to the next bullet. So therefore it is 0. Makes no difference changing that to true. I'll put false here like I did before. It just makes it easier to see that it is a ball you're dealing with. Funny enough, you can probably just do load IX, true. Maybe, I don't know actually. Don't know about that. Oh, okay. I think you can. My turn. I'm kind of finding it counterintuitive having the bullets stuff in here, to be honest. I'm trying to think. Let's keep it in here. No, I've changed my mind. I'm not sure if this is the best way or not, it just feels like it is to me. So this will draw one bullet and it'll want inputs. Or do I need to make it have inputs? I don't know. Let's make a bullet sprite in here. Just like a laser. I'd love to know if there's a better way of not using the whole character cell. I suppose I could just get a draw sprite 8x1. Pop it in here. I'm do an 8x2. See how that performs. Much smaller. Might be alright. It might be alright. Sprite pointer. DE. XY. Just rolling a ciggy while I think about how to load DE. This is just going to draw one bullet out of the array. So I'm going to have to loop through it somewhere else and call this. Unless let's call this bullets, all of it. Oops. And take it back from player, the array. Oops. All these bullets. Bullets player, that'll do. Let's keep that as bullet. Draw bullet. It's annoying that I use BC for the sprite pointer because I wanted to use DJNZ. But I could still do that. Oh no, I don't need to, it's fine. I'll use my little 255 end of array thing. This position will be set. We can get the D&E directly from there. IX equals exact bullet. Specific bullet. Current bullet. I don't like that. I want it to be able to be called without loading anything, so I'm going to have yet another function for bullets. Getting there. Ah, I read that wrong. I do want that down there. What I want up here is loading IX. Cordial bullets. Check for the end. Check is dead. Go next. Right. So all I've got to do now is load this. No, IX already is the right bullet. Yeah. When we spawn the bullet, we want to know where the player is. I guess we can just access that directly actually. Probably not great practice. There's probably a way of passing it in a register rather than doing this. But why bother when we've already got it stored there? If you remember, the bullet spawn was going to check for a dead one, so IX will also be the current bullet. So we may as well do this setting it alive here. True, same thing. So we don't need to do that there. We will in fact just call spawn bullet. Bullet spawn. Just thinking this could probably all go into the spawn. This would do for now. Okay, Micro. No worries, man. So IX wants to equal bullets there. It's a bit weird, but I could probably have set that all into the bullets class. Okay, so we've got QAOP. Guess we need like spacebar for the bullets. I mean, for now, I'll just put F because I've got that there, sat there. Can't type. There we go. I hope that's okay just to do that loop like that. Perhaps I should jump to that loop. Don't know. I mean, that's going to fire every frame. But, 3 bullets. We'll need to include bullet. Oops. Oh, yeah. Okay, nothing happens when I press F. Kind of expecting it to. Odd. I mean, that should make no difference, but no, it won't make a difference. Oh, I didn't load IX. Again, I'm just trying to avoid having a horrible looking load there. Hiya, Jamie. Hooked on spaceships. I love spaceships. I need some better art, but that's a job for tomorrow. This one's a good little start. Okay, that should help. Do I even draw the bullets? Should be able to call bullets.draw. Bullets/draw. Also, I may as well do the update and have it move constant speed. Let's just say 2 right now. Need a loop similar to that, don't I? Trying to keep it tidy. I'm trying to think ahead. Sure. For that. Oh yeah, it's gonna be okay. Yeah. It will return eventually. If it's 0, it's very much similar to what we just had in it. Not sure if you can do that. I think you can. Oh no, it's got a speed. Okay, I think that'll work. And then finally in here we want it updating them. I believe that will work now. No, it didn't compile. Oh, but it's undefined. Oh, it's bullets player, of course. I think it's crashed again when I press fire. Leave it out. It's got stuck in an endless loop. That's 255 at the end. Ah, I'm being silly. I've only inked it by one time. I need a constant here to say the length. Bullet data length 5. Need to find everywhere where I've written ink IX. Check that compiles. I think it will. Yeah. Eventually I'll move this into the spawn bullets, so that from the player you'll just call spawn bullet and that'll be it. Oops. Can't see a bullet there. Bullet spawn. I wonder if it's because I'm using that draw sprite 8x2. Ah, yeah, that is why. Because then I need to. Yeah, that don't I? Yay! There we go. Of course, we never kill the bullet, so it just whizzes around. I don't know how we're having 4. Oh, there is 4 maximum. That's the next thing to do is kill the bullet, isn't it? I'll do that in the move.
Boom headshot! Boom headshot! Boom headshot!
I love it. I love that program as well. That was funny, man. I love it that we're actually only drawing 2 lines there. So the sprite is just that. I love it. So of course when I spawn it I could nudge it down some lines instead. I think that might be the best way here. Should probably just be another constant, really. So that offsets from the player's origin. I guess I'll just make that obvious by doing. Oh, I haven't got player height anymore. Probably going to need that. Let's just try that. Oh yeah, I was going to kill the bullet when it gets on the screen. Right, that's already much better. I was just trying to figure out, should I do it before or after I move it? bit after. Still on, yeah. Like he's in space. Not a massive amount of time left on the stream, but I've got a good few minutes. Add a few more things. Just added the bullets there. This holds the bullet's position. I'm just trying to think at what point do I want to check. What was you right about? I've forgotten. Just gonna do it here. Luckily I've left that buffer at the side, so this is quite convenient. I can allow it to fully go off the screen and then kill it. Trying to make sure I don't cock it up. So if A greater than max Y, max X. So if it's less than, you can jump to B move next, and if not, then we can kill it. Simples, hopefully. Whee! We had a problem, if you remember my first game I made. Moz might remember it. We didn't have too many viewers. But I had a game similar to this, and it would get, like the bullets, if I held it down long enough, would get all bugged out. But this seems perfect. Excellent. It's actually reminded me of your demo tape, Moz. Quite a lot like that. Obviously yours was a lot better, but it's reminded me of it with the up and down movement. It's horrible trying to move with these keys and fire with F. Next thing to add is a delay in the fire, like a burst rate. Although it's not that bad actually, the burst rate, just as it is. He has become quite the mascot, and I was saying that earlier. Why not though, innit? Why not? Spectrum's lacking. I know it's got Horace and Jet Set Willie. They're the true mascots, didn't they? But there's always room for a new one. New kid on the block. It's definitely a start. I think I'll add an enemy quickly and see if we can kill him. I mean, my one doesn't even dream of having sub-pixel movement and velocity. That's not what this one's about. Just a very simple, easy game, this one. New mascot for a new era, exactly. I'm going to make a snazzy next sprite of Spikie. Finding the time, but I do mean to do that for sure. At least a sprite, just one sprite. The only downside of adding an enemy is I've got to draw him now, haven't I? We have Teacher Bob's face. Let me find Teacher Bob. Here he is. 1, 2, 4. Let's get that. It looks, I don't know a lot about it, Geo, but it looks incredible. It's like, it's got the 128K ROM, but then it also has a new ROM, and it also has like graphics hardware and sound hardware, so you can do like scaling on sprites, and it's got multiple colors. So it's like Spectrum Point 3, you know. But it's really interesting because it only has 2 megabytes of RAM. But obviously that's a lot more than the actual Spectrum had, I think. Yeah. It sounds well interesting. I can't wait to get into it. Yeah, it's a bit of both. It's like a very clever idea. I mean, I still think I prefer like Commodore Amiga and stuff like that actually. But I like the sound of the Next, and that's a brand new system, isn't it? Really, so it's great to make some games for it. How many? Too big, isn't it? Yeah. All right, Bob. I think I've flipping got the back of Bob's head. Yeah, I don't know how to use graphics hardware. Like, does it have its own instructions set and stuff like that? Or, so I have to find that out. It's the main part of the fun, that though, isn't it? I guess I'll just call this enemy sprite for now. Mm. No, actually, yeah, yeah. And then I'll have, similar to bullets, just enemies. And what I'll do with enemies is we'll have a type. So I'll create like a list, an enumerator again, of different types of enemies. So this will be like enemy 1. I don't know, something like that. Enemy sprite 1. But these types are going to be dead equals 0. Yeah, that's exactly it, Geo. It is fascinating because of that. So it's got the Z80 instruction set, but then that's what I don't get. Well, it's the ROM, I guess, that I've got to learn. There must be like ROM calls to scale a sprite and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. What I want to avoid is using game engines. I know there's a lot of good game engines out there for Spectrum Next. Well, not a lot, but there's some good game engines out there. And I think that MPAGD game engine outputs into assembly language anyway. But it's this type of assembly language that I just don't understand. So I prefer to write it myself and then I know it. I guess probably simply. No, let's not do that. Bobhead. Because the better the name, really, it comes in handy, I think. Then of course we can just add like, you know, Falcon. And shoot Luke Skywalker. So they're all going to default to dead, of course. Then they have an X and a Y. They need a width and a height. Should be right up here, really. Speed X and speed Y. Actually, I'm going to stop and read this blurb. Funny, it's expandable to 2. Tile map. Sounds interesting. HDMI 60 Hz. Bad boy. It's going to be a beast. I mean, it's an expensive piece of kit. And you can see it's well built and much loved in the design. I can't wait to have a go at it, but I'll probably end up getting frustrated going back to more simple projects, but who knows. I mean, there's a lot more help online for C64 and Nintendo NES, for example. Yeah, I'll be definitely giving it a go soon though. It's Spikie on there, isn't it? He could become a real mascot of the next. How many more things do I need for an enemy? Like, what defines an enemy? His type could define lots of things. Like, you know, we could know from his type, does he shoot? Does he? Could tell a lot of things from it, to be honest. That sounds cool, yeah. I've actually never written a basic program other than Hello World. I think in the old days I did a tiny bit. That's why I'm going to really be stumped on Spectrum next. I think because I just don't know the ins and outs of the actual system, like even the Spectrum. You never know until you try, though. So yeah, I think that constitutes an enemy. How many do we want on screen at once? We stick to 4 for now, you know. Let's make it 5. In fact, do I want to make it like Space Invaders, or is it going to be more of an R-type style? So I could make an R-type style just with stuff moving in pretty simply, can I? Controls are so funny. I can't reach all the buttons. Need spacebar in a minute. Or I could make it like Space Invaders, where they're all just there from the start. No, I don't like that idea. Yeah, you can definitely still write an assembly. I've had quite a few people drop into my stream and say they're learning to make games for the next, and they found a few of my things. Commonalities between Spikie games. Little Easter eggs. Scrolling demo. I'll quickly look at it. I've got some scrolling ideas in mind. I mean, we've done alright. I ended up doing alright with the skiing, didn't I? You know, wasn't too bad. Oh, that looks awesome on the next there. Wow, like a Super Nintendo almost. 5-layer parallax scrolling. Clever dude. Yeah. Yeah, how did he come to be in this pod? Maybe he could fire skis at them. We'll definitely have Teacher Bob as an enemy in this. Just his face. So of course, if I want to change a wave, once these are all dead, I can just change them to be a different type. So I think I'm just going to create it in waves. And I'm just going to create the first wave. Was you going to say that? Maybe I should do that then. That would be funny. Free advertising, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Bob. Bob should make an appearance in every game. I'm going to have to sneak him into the other one somewhere. Instead of one of the trees. Or maybe when you get to like the last level where you've gone through the game like 10 times or so, all the trees turn into Bobs. Yeah. Yeah, it's another. He's the resident bad guy. Throws books and teeth at you, and he comes and buggers you in the corner if you're in school. My brain, I can't think whatsoever. It will certainly go on to Git, mate. Yeah, I'm going to go offline in less than 10 minutes as well. I think I'm going to create one spawn wave. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that though, like without making it a big mess when I have like 10 waves. Ah well, let's just start with just one wave and not care about if it's a mess, because I can always delete one wave, start again. Oh, thanks, Gio. Yeah, feel free to. That'd be a great help. I mean, I haven't paid a great deal of attention to the GitHub. It's basically just a dump of all my files. They're kind of sorted out. But I don't even have a git ignore in there, you know. I just couldn't be bothered. Everything, it was only like a few kilobytes anyway. So basically, your call start wave, it'll have a byte that you tell it what kind of wave you want to start. I'm just trying to figure out, do I want them all coming out at once? I want them staggered, really, don't I? Good night, Micro. Like I say, you're definitely not missing much. I'm just going to fiddle around for 5 more minutes. I'm kind of thinking, don't want to do the wave in here. I'm going to create like a level class for that. I want to keep this similar to bullet, so it'll just spawn an enemy. I think. I guess I shouldn't hide from 16-bit numbers so much. It creates me a bit of a headache by not using them. All of that stuff can remain as an 8-bit, but I think I need a 16-bit value inside the player, similar to distance travelled. In fact, yeah, I'll probably call it that. Player distance travelled seems pretty good to me. That's a word. And all the waves can be based on that. So that's still irrelevant to this. I'll put like, just call it level, I think. Level.asm. Yeah, level.asm. Kiss the wife in your back. Distance travelled. So level is just going to be a bunch of, I guess constants is the best way of doing it. Like wave 1. Wave 1 distance, sorry, that'll do. Equals. Let's say 100. In fact, 300, because I want to make sure it works as a word. Then we'd have wave 2 distance. Completely other time. Like, yeah, whatever. And then level update. Here's where it instantly gets confusing because I want to set up a build chain. Linux size Chrome, but it sounds good, man. I'll push it to GitHub now just in case anyone wanted to grab it. In case I also forget, because if I get tired and crash out straight afterwards. I haven't put any title to it or anything, but you'll find the files there. Yeah, this is where it instantly gets confusing because I want to check the player's distance. And then spawn, begin a wave. When it's at a certain amount. Or setting up the build chain. Is that where you do launch.json and all that sort of thing? Anyway, so I want this word and I want to compare it to that. Very tricky, isn't it? 300 decimal is a weird binary number as well. Perhaps it's best to have these in values that add up to set binary numbers, if that makes sense, so that as soon as it rolls up to a certain bit, because I can only get the high and low byte to compare. I can't compare the word. How nice would it be if you could? How bloody nice. I know I've got the skiing to fall back on to have a look at the 16-bit if I get really stuck. It'd be something like load HL player distance travel pointer. How can I compare it to 300? Oh yeah, I've written quite a lot of C code, but I'm not like super great at it, so that's why I never got into doing that yet. But I was interested in it when I first started for the Spectrum. I saw that there is a C compiler. Sounds cool. I mean, it must be nice being able to use for loops and all that sort of thing. I had a solution in my head for this then, but I've kind of forgotten it. I mean, I could check for 300. I know how to do that, but it seems odd having to do that for every single number. Like, seems very odd. It was awesome. Yeah, I bet. Because once I was getting going with C++, mixed in with a bit of C, at some nights I was cranking out some games, but then when I took a break, it's hard to remember everything. Sometimes I spend time, like a long time, and don't achieve anything. At one point I was writing network code and I was, linking to my mate's computer in my game, stuff like that. I was getting quite far into it. Yeah, a lot of people say basics like 50 times slower or some stupid amount in it. No, I don't know how to do this. Hang on. I think I need to find only use values like 256 and multiples of that. Or I guess I just want to only worry about the upper byte. Yeah, that makes pretty good sense, to be fair. The only exception to that I can think of is if it's a really clean language and it compiles quick, that if they write it in such a way that it's decent code, and then if I go and write some really really bad assembly code, maybe I would have been better off in basic or in another language. Is Java interpreted? I seem to remember. I used to use Java. So I still don't know the difference a great deal between the two. When I think it's something to do with the point of when it gets compiled, isn't it? Like just in time. I don't really know. It gets confusing as hell. I think the solution to this particular problem is I need to only worry about the upper byte. For example, I want to check the upper byte. If the upper byte equals 1, then we've got 256, haven't we? So if I could do it with multiples of 256. And it'd be quite easy. I could in fact do like wave 1 would be that. Wave 2 would be that. I'm not sure if I'm oversimplifying this. The thing is, well, yeah, like I say, that'd be 4. So these aren't needed. I'm just wondering, should I? I wish it was. It's more like measured in centimeters. It goes by really quick. That's what I was just worried about. Like this would be 5 seconds in, wouldn't it? The one, yeah, that's pretty good though. 5 seconds in, first wave starts. This would need to be a much higher number though, wouldn't it? I mean, we can only go up to 65,000, can't we? Divide that by 50. You've got 1200 seconds. Quite a lot of seconds. 16 minutes. Okay. Percentage of completion. What do you mean by that? Sorry, elaborate on that a bit. So you saying between 1 and 100, between 0 and 100. But how would you measure that against what? If you know what I mean? 10% complete speed up. Oh, I see. 10% complete speed up, or spawn different enemy, or whatever. Yeah. See, I must be being thick, but for me to try and do that on the processor, wouldn't I have to divide and stuff like that? Like 16-bit division or something, I don't know. This way I've got is pretty good. You can it's basically like a timer. I can calculate exact times for them to spawn. So the first one's 5 seconds in, but I'm just trying to think how quick would you want the next one to start. Maybe 10 seconds after that. So that's pretty good actually, isn't it? 5, and then 15 seconds later the second one starts. So actually I don't mind this. I don't mind this. I'm just making sure I work that out correctly, right? 65,000, which is roughly the size of a 16-bit number, isn't it? If I remember right. Yeah. 65,000. 50 frames per second. Yeah, it's a lot of seconds. Long enough for a level, but so actually this is going to work pretty good for me. As long as I do it in segments of 5 seconds, I can really calculate this very easily. But I don't even need that, because this is so self-explanatory. Basically 1 unit is worth 5 seconds. There's probably no need to have spawn wave 1 and 2 either. I mean H and now A equal 1 or 4. So I know what wave from that. The only thing is, I have to do another load of compares. No, it's better the other way, isn't it? The only thing I don't like about it is it's not generic. If I want to have 30 waves, which I probably do, I'm going to need 30 of these buggers. Hello, Act Natural. Nice to speak to you. Going well, thank you. I've just finished a game actually. We just finished one. We started this fresh one now. Give you a little show and tell. It's very basic, you know. It's not meant to be advanced. Just trying to add enemy spawns now. Yeah, thanks, man. I'm just trying to think about this wave thing, because I probably do want 20 waves per level. That high bite, I mean, that caters for a lot of different times. It's working well, that. I guess I'll just do one wave now, and then I'll think about a better way of doing it tomorrow, probably. I think I'll assume all the enemies are going to be dead when we call spawn. I won't do a check. This is Z80 assembly language. Z80 processor. I reckon they will, but we'll need to add loads of colours to it. So these are all different registers that I'm loading with different values, basically. To spawn wave 1, just going to make them all alive. But in a staggered notion, isn't it? In a staggered formation. Any problem here? So the problem with that is I wanted to do it in a one-shot routine, but now I'm going to have to set a ball or a value to say we are currently spawning a particular wave. Then in an update loop we'll see that we continue spawning them. So I want to stagger them with like half of a second between each spawn. The annoying thing is there's a lot to do here because I also want to make the enemy move so that we see what we're spawning. My preferred language is C#, I would say, as well as C++ and C. But I'm not a pro on any language. I've probably made the most progress on C#. I've had a few years playing around with Unity and other game engines before Unity was a big thing. Yeah, I like C#. But there are limitations to it, and it's led me into this, which is all about raw programming, dealing straight with the memory and the processor. And you know, I enjoy that because sometimes it works out a lot easier, and sometimes it works out a lot harder. Like something as simple as doing a for loop is quite hard in this. You know, it's not hard, but you know, to loop through things is much more complicated than it is in C. Okay, I have done that before, Micro. I can do that. It's similar to, you know, when I've done increment score, um, and I've done that sort of nest of incrementations. That's what I did with the time. So I incremented by seconds only. And then when you incremented a second, it noticed when it got to 60, reset the seconds, put minute up by 1. And then I've done the same thing for hours, of course. Oh, it sometimes is more work in assembly, although you'll be surprised. Sometimes you get some quick stuff going once you get going. There's not so many instructions to worry about, you know. I mean, I'm only using a small handful of the actual instructions. Some of the people who visit here know all the instructions and tell me some advanced stuff. But where was I? There, yeah. Oh god, yeah, I've got to make it move, haven't I? Yeah, enemies update. Enemies draw. Oh, thank you for the follow, man. Much appreciated. God, I'll be hitting that 100 soon if I go on like this. Thank you very much. I'm on most evenings, although I am going to have a night off soon from the streams. I'm getting a little bit worn out, but most nights I'm on. They're going to be the little global one I can call from anywhere. So all they're going to do is call another one. And that'll load the IX register with the enemy. Start a loop there. There, I'm just checking for that 255 so we know we're at the end of the array. Yeah, I'm certainly winging it most of the time, my prayers, you know. But I plan at least 5 minutes ahead. Sometimes. Like just now when I was writing some of them functions, I was thinking ahead. So that's how we get out of this loop anyway, but we'll want to skip to the next. Well, next enemy. Well, thank you for the host, my man. Love it. So the enemy's data length. Constant. 7 long in it, look. Bytes. Yeah, you're very welcome here, mate. Chuck in some suggestions. Feel free. Send me some sprites if you're good at drawing and I'll chuck them in a game. Always looking for new sprites. Makes the world go round. Right, so you just literally do that to increment through to the next enemy. Jump back to the start of the loop. We know how to get out of the loop, but we also want to check if it's dead. We don't actually need to do that, it's already loaded. Pair, dead. It is dead. Jump to next. Busy with uni work. At least you're keeping your priorities right. That's good for you. I wish I did. That was a long time ago though, water under the bridge. So finally, if we get to this point, then we found a live one. We want to draw it. Now, these are only for specific size. That's wrong as well. 16 by 8. Oh, that's a point. Have my emojis still not shown up? It's been pending approval for like 5 days now. Said it's going to take 24 hours. Little gits. I actually sent them a message on Twitter. It was the only way I could contact them. And they didn't reply. I'll send them a stern email. So yeah, sadly, this routine I've just written here is only going to draw enemies of that size. The rest of it I tried to make generic so that we could have different enemies, but they're all going to have to be that size from now. And I'm going to have to think of a way around that when I'm a bit fresher. In fact, there's a lot of work to be done tomorrow, which is too much to do tonight. Because I'd also have to check the type, find out which sprite to draw. Right now, we'll just do this one. That should be sufficient to draw it. Give it a movement speed. Oh, in fact, there's speeds in here. So same again, I should have a comparer to find out what type we're spawning and set its speed properly. Now I'll just put it there. See you later, Geo. Thanks for sticking around, man. I keep saying I'm getting off and then I keep thinking, oh, I'll just do this. I think it is pretty much time to go because it's going to take so long just to even draw this to the screen, really. And I'm ending up rushing it and I'm taking shortcuts here where I should be doing something better than that so that I can draw any enemy that we chuck in there. How I would do that is where I call draw enemy, I'd have a comparer to see what the type is. If it's dead, it's one type. If it's bobhead, if it's falcon. Then I'd load this with the size of the sprite. I'd then have to compare the size of the sprite to call the correct one of them. Or I could rewrite that so that it just checks for the size of the sprite. Yeah, that's a task for tomorrow. It's 3 AM here. Yeah, it's been too long, hasn't it, this one? I normally keep it under 2 hours. Or around 2 hours. Yeah. Good night, guys. I'll see you again soon. I'm definitely going to be on tomorrow night. Making a lot more. I've got to add a loading screen to Spikie Goes Skiing. Spikie meets the Tribbles. Maybe tribbles could be our ammo. Fire them. I've got loads of ideas bubbling around in my head now. No doubt I'll wake up tomorrow and put a load of code into it to get myself started, so that next time I'm a bit more focused. Yeah, good night, Micro. Good night, everyone else. Thank you for watching. See you again soon. Take it easy.